Hello, Instagram. So I am back with you. This is take two because I tried just now. I'm just going to put my phone back in its holder. Excuse me for being a bit wobbly. I tried just now to connect with Josh Wood, the amazing celebrity hair colorist, and I'm so excited to be talking to him. And hopefully this time I'm going to get him. Come on. Oh, why are you not letting me go live? Here we go. Go live with Josh. Yes. Add. Yes. Waiting for Josh Wood Colour. This is agony, isn't it? Honestly, I have so many questions.
I'm here,
Connected.
Liz.
Josh, you're there.
I thought
sorry.
it was
Don't you
my
hate
end. I've been pressing
technology?
things and screaming.
I've been pressing every button known to man.
I'm so sorry.
No, I think it was me. So anyway, we are here. We are together. So
We've done
basically, we have you split screen on Instagram. And I also have you, my lovely followers on Facebook. They can't see you. They can only see me, alas, but they can hear you. And I've got all your lovely products here. So anything that you talk about, I can kind of be your show and tell person. Okay.
Great.
Now let's start at the beginning. You have been colouring hair to the stars for, what is it, 30 years?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the stars. You know, I still work in the salon, in my salon in London, doing my clients that I've done. Yeah, but for nearly 30 years, I've been colouring hair.
Amazing. And I saw, was it Victoria Beckham put one of your shampoos on her Instagram just like a few days ago?
She loves that the brunette shampoo for fine hair that I formulated.
Yeah.
And she's been a long-standing client and supporter for many years.
Fantastic. And David Bowie, I read that. I mean, amazing. He must have gone through lots of hair changes, I guess.
Well, I was only in one of the transformative change periods with David, but yeah, I worked with him on a specific album and we worked together for about 10 years. But yeah, he also became a very good friend and a welcome guinea pig to the odd ginger tinge or a little bit of red or something.
He certainly embraced colour and embraced changing his look. So you have really become the expert, the master in hair colour, and even more so in recent months in home hair colour. How did lockdown affect you? Because obviously being a British brand founder with a business, you suddenly went from having salons and people coming in every day to nothing. That must have been a massive shock for you and your team.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm from a very humble background in Yorkshire, and I've worked since I was 17 years old, and it suddenly dawned on me in about week 4 or 5 of lockdown, from being 17 and I'm just over 50, I'd never had longer than 3 weeks off work. So personally for me, it was quite something to come to terms with. But yeah, we shuttered the salon. That had to be wrapped in cotton wool, and you know, very, very difficult decisions to be made about closing the business and the people within that business that I love working with. And then on the other side, our brand, our Josh Wood Colour at Home, went like it skyrocketed because people needed advice. They were at home. They've never had to think about access to salons or products before, and it was
and we were all, the grey was beginning to show. I mean, I did my own, kind of bits and pieces. I bought a little Weller highlighting kit online and was, trying to do the foils, and and never in my life have I done that,
Yeah, I mean, I've always been very clear. I think there are some things you can achieve well at home and some things you simply can't, and it's about having that expert, honest advice that I think sets people up for success.
Well, you moved very quickly onto online, didn't you? And even now on your website, you can book an online consultation. Is that like a personal kind of Zoom chat with somebody?
Yeah, I mean, when we launched the brand 2 years ago, it was always designed to kind of democratize hair color and certainly expert advice, which I think has been really interesting for us, Liz. I always had a vision of wanting to be able to access the information to everybody wherever they are, but that was going to come later in the year. And I gave my team three days to get it fixed and working during lockdown, so people could access, you know, a trained hairdresser, a trained colorist to ask their opinion.
And you can just kind of go up close to the screen and go, you know, look at this here, you know, what do I do about my grey, and what kind of do you think would suit me?
Yeah, I mean, the online team have really learned some tips and tricks, natural daylight, getting people to show them the back of their hair. Also, as well, getting them to express what
You're not looking at the
think.
back of my hair. I only ever do the front for my Instagram and Facebook lives. Like
what, nobody ever sees the back of you?
Really. In fact, it's still wet from the shower. Didn't even dry it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's you know, it's been really amazing. I think I've learned more probably in the 3 to 4 months of lockdown than I have in the previous nearly 30 years. I mean, people colouring their hair at home have almost been forgotten about. It's been a sector of the beauty industry that really has been left behind, and I feel really passionate that that isn't right. And with our products and our experts, I'm set to change that.
Great. And they are different. I looked at your website and it says, you know, no ammonia. So, you know, how do you manage to change the hair color without using those kind of traditional chemicals?
Well, there are lots of, to be fair, there are lots of permanent hair color on the market that don't contain ammonia. I mean, the thing to be very clear about with us, it's not a transformative color. So it's going darker, adding warmth, adding coolness, one shade lighter, but you can't bleach. You can't go blonde. You can't go from brown to blonde. I really believe that those kind of services and those kind of chemicals kind of need to be in the hands of the expert, because this is not, you know, hair color is a lot about the chemical compound that you use, but it's also about the technique and the way you do it. And as you said, you know, with your little bits of foil, and it's not easy for anybody. So
it's not. And actually, I had to have a bit more courage, because I ended up with orangey bits, and I was worried about leaving it on for too long. But apparently, if you don't leave it on long enough, it goes orange. I should have left it on longer to go blonder. Is that right?
Well, again, it's horses for courses, but it's the underlying tone that you have in your hair. If the product isn't strong enough, or you don't leave it on long enough, or you haven't applied it in the right way, you can be left with the undertone rather than the desired lift that you're looking for.
Okay. Well, let's crack on with some questions, because we've had so many, so I'm going to get through just as many as I can. And I'm going to talk about, I know Instagram, if you've just joined, you may have heard me say at the very beginning, before I got cut off by technology, that Josh and his team are giving us all this incredible mask, okay? It's the everything mask. I used it this morning, Josh. I love it. My hair feels so soft.
That's good.
And we'll talk about that in just a minute. Yeah, just as well, wasn't it, really? But no, it's a real winner. This is £19 on Josh's website, and it's free, completely free, with any purchase. But you have to do it in a certain way. And considering this is my other new favourite, this is what I also used in the shower this morning. I went for my run. Those of you might have seen it on my Instagram. And then I came back, jumped in the shower, and I used this one. This is Shade Refreshing Shampoo for fine blonde hair, which is perfect for me. Love the smell. Says, specially created to leave your blonde hair feeling clean, light and glossy. So that's £10 on Josh's website. So you could buy that, which is what I'm definitely going to stock up with. And then you get your £19 free. But this is only, we're doing it for 5 days, Josh. And we're super grateful. Thank you. So I will put out a kind of a warning if you're not watching this in real time. I'm afraid it may have expired. And what you do is you go and you put stuff in your basket. You add the mask, the large full size of everything mask, into your basket. And then when you check out, you put the discount code Liz Loves, and that then deducts the cost of this. Okay, so that's the process. I'll repeat it at the end, but I wanted to throw it out there now, because I know lots of you will hop online and have a look at some of the stuff that we're talking about. So this is quite similar to me, actually, from Larry. She says, I've highlighted my hair for over 40 years with blonde and bleach. After lockdown, I'm being told my hair looks great, embracing the grey. How best to keep hair shiny and full, and which washing routine is recommended? So I do find actually that when my hair is looking greyer, it tends to look a bit dull, looks a bit flat. What do you think?
I mean, you know, grey is a colour. It's not kind of like, you know, I think a lot of us in England have had the misconception that it's about letting yourself go. I've never seen grey as anything other than another colour. And some people do suit grey and some people
Yeah.
don't.
Okay.
I mean,
Point.
I love greys when they look sparkly and light and
Yes.
not frizzy, not fluffy, but you don't want grey that looks dark and heavy. So shampooing every day, you know, using a shampoo that can brighten your hair a little.
Yes, I was really impressed. I have to say, you know, I get sent a lot of things, as you can imagine, and over, you know, I've been in this business, Josh, darling, even longer than you. So, you know, I was writing about beauty like 35 years ago when you were probably at school. And, you know, I've seen a lot of things and I've tried a lot of products. And when something says it's a shampoo that's going to refresh and leave your hair light and glossy, you go, yeah, really, you know, shampoos don't really do that. That's more conditioners. But this really did. And, you know, I don't know what you've got in there. I'll need to look at the small print when I've got my glasses on. But I think you have managed to create colour safe products, because that's the other thing. You don't want to strip colour out either.
No, you don't. You don't want to. I mean, you want the hair to be really clean. Blondes like really clean hair, and slightly fluffy up hair. Blondes want, because it you get that light reflection. You get the feeling that there's lightness within the weightlessness within the hair. But the other thing, Liz, for somebody that's maybe trying to transition to grey from highlights, keep the hair bright. I've got a gloss product in Icy Blonde.
Icy Blonde. Ooh, that sounds nice.
You've got that one.
I got here. I've got some. Are these the gloss products here?
Yeah.
Queen very kindly sent me some stuff. So many glosses. They sound amazing. I've got Smoky Brunette.
That's the Icy Blonde.
Oh, is it? Ooh. So would that be good for me, or would that be only if I'm going to kind of transition into grey, do you think?
No, I mean, that one particularly, just in response to that question, the Icy Blonde will work on grey, so it will give you that little bit of optical illusion of the hair being a little bit brighter if you're growing out highlights. I think you're more something like Champagne Blonde. You're a bit more beachy.
Oh, yes. Champagne and beaches, that's me, totally.
Me as well, if you're inviting me.
So what about this? So this is called Champagne Blonde, and this is called Shade Shot Plus. What's that going to do?
So a shade shot basically is something that you add. It's a shot of pigment that you add into your base colour. Okay,
so you've got base colours.
You add that into that to give you a very personalised.
Clever. Got you. So you've got your permanent colour kits here.
Yeah.
So I've got one here. This is mid blonde.
Yes.
Now, would I want to use that with highlights or?
No, you really wouldn't, because that was going to give you an overall all coverage. Okay. So you would actually lose, if you used a permanent colour kit, you'd lose all your natural highs and lows.
The reason that I've gone blonde, I have to say, over the years, because I'm not naturally quite this blonde, is because of the grey. And I just find that with the grey, it mixes in with the blonde. And, you know, my hair colour, as I said, over the years, over time, Liz, you can just go ashy blonde, because it won't actually be ashy blonde. It'll be grey blonde. But you'll just look blonder as more of the grey comes through. Rather than
I think going lighter, yeah, absolutely right, Liz. Going lighter to help so that you don't get a definite regrowth, is a really great option. I don't know whether with your eye color and skin tone, though, I'd put you, if you were to go, I would never put you in icy or cool, or I'd always keep your hair a little creamier. You know, a little bit more vanilla, much softer on your skin tone than going too steely grey.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, I don't feel that grey is quite my shade just yet. We're actually writing about it.
It may never be, Liz.
Say again?
It may never be.
It may never be. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I just don't feel that I'm quite there. And it's interesting to hear you talk about it as a colour, its own colour, rather than a stage of life. So many women think, oh, I'm going to go grey, or I'm going to let myself become grey. And actually, you know, are you thinking about that more as a life stage, or are you thinking more about that as a definite choice? And of course, I know several young women who are grey, who deliberately decided to go grey and look very stylish and love it. So in terms of box colour, so this is a question that's come here from Tina. She said, can you put a box colour on your hair if you've already had bleach in it?
No.
And if so, what would be the best? No is the short answer.
The answer is get online, do a consultation. The colour kits are designed to cover grey hair 100%. If you've already got bleach or a highlight in your hair, there's 2 or 3 stages of process that you need to do before using a permanent hair colour. So that is unless you're going black, really, really, really dark. But if you're looking for a subtle, natural effect, that's something you need some expert advice about before trying to cover the highlights.
So if we were using something like this, I'm just picking this up here. This is the permanent hair colour 5.0. That's a light brown. So you could use that as long as you didn't have any bleach or highlights in your hair already.
Yes.
But if you have, then you need to pop online and get a consultation to talk you through the process. Okay. Well, that's really sound advice, I have to say. Really sound advice. Interesting, you've added quinoa, the protein, to your products.
Yeah.
Does the protein kind of help give the shine?
Well, no, hair is protein. I mean, hair is it's like the surface of the skin, Liz. It's dead matter.
Yeah.
But it's predominantly 80% protein. So I found quinoa really helps to strengthen and give body to the hair.
Right.
Most kind of like wheat proteins or grain proteins really help restructure the hair.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I don't know. I think it was probably the mask, because I left this one on for 5 minutes. This is one that we're going to get free, which is fab. What I liked about this is that I could really feel my hair kind of drinking it up. I think my hair's got so dry with all the bleach, to be honest, and it gets quite frizzy, which I don't really like. I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, if you were like, you know, you could put that on when you go for your run.
Oh, nice.
You know, keep it on for half an hour or so, wash it off. You know, it would save time. But I think if you're not used to using a mask, it's a bit like using a face serum. You've almost got to build up a little bit, because you know, as you said, you felt your hair going, taking it in. So that's an indicator to me that you might need 2 or 3 goes of doing that to get your hair to optimum hydration.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I love the fact that it's for everybody as well. It doesn't matter what your hair color is, what your hair type, you know, everybody can benefit. Okay, so maybe we've covered this. This is from Geeta, who says, please ask Josh Wood, what is the best treatment on hair for a good shiny finish? My hair always looks dull and matte after color. So what's she doing wrong?
Well, she could be combing the color through the ends too much, because color on color can sometimes make the hair appear oversaturated or a little dull. I would say I always really ask my clients to do a deep penetrating mask before their color appointment, because as a canvas, you want the hair to be
Interesting.
You really want hair to be as hydrated as possible when you start to color.
Do you? Gosh, I would have thought completely.
Or also there are glosses that are also for dark hair. So I've got one that's chestnut brunette, one that's smoky brunette, and a gloss will give you the top layer looking a bit like a top coat.
Nice, like a clear nail varnish on top of a color, and you want to refresh it and make it look shiny. Okay, so this what you're talking about? Is this the gloss shot, or is that something else? Okay, so this is chestnut brunette. Now this says it's semi-permanent.
That's a gloss.
So what does that mean, semi-permanent?
Yes.
So that's going to wash out after?
It means that it washes out. So you're not mixing 6 shampoos, up to 6 shampoos.
Oh, nice. So
And
not too
it's not,
scary
you're not
then.
mixing two things together. No, that's a good starting point if you want to experiment a little with colour at home. Use a semi-permanent gloss.
Nice. Okay, semi-permanent gloss, and presumably this comes in lots of different shades, does it?
Yeah, there are 2 for brunettes and
Oh,
2
nice.
for blondes, and then 4 reds.
Okay, what should I use on mine? She says, asking you selfishly. Should I be using the champagne blonde?
You
She said I
would,
was a champagne kind of girl.
yeah. That's you.
Okay,
That's made for you. That one. Don't drink it, Liz.
okay, I'll try not to. I have to get my shots in the right order. I have got a shot box full of turmeric, but this is obviously a different story. So just to double check, I can use this on top of my highlights.
Yes, that will just refresh your highlights. It will give them that kind of that extra zing, that little bit of glow, and also add a little bit of tone back into them if they've gone a little bit flat looking, a little bit faded. That'll just make you feel salon fresh.
Salon fresh. I love that. So I am going to use this. This is going to go into my Donna Maid bag along with my hair mask. Actually, I'll leave that out because I'll talk about that in a bit. Okay, so okay, this is interesting. This is from Lisa, who says, how easy would it be to have dyed blonde hair coloured grey so it looks natural, or is it best to just let it grow out? That's presumably transitioning into grey.
So it's really quite easy because if you're grey and you've been colouring your hair blonde, so you don't have a dark root, you have a grey root. Yeah. That's quite easy. A little bit of face framing balayage, a little bit of halo of blonde around the hairline, and then top that up using something like icy blonde. That's a really, really easy way to transition to grey. If you've got brown roots and light ends and want to go grey, that's much more challenging. That's a big salon appointment and lots of micro lighting, and that's a big colour change. But the transition from blonde to grey is fairly straightforward.
Great, and you can use your glosses and things to sort of transition across. You mentioned that magical word there, balayage. Tell me, what is balayage? Because I've had it done to me. I'm not quite sure what they did.
So balayage is just a way of highlighting your hair that you don't use foil. So you freehand, you're painting kind of like the blonde ribbons into the hair.
Okay, so just doing this.
It can go right.
Okay.
It can go right down to the root.
Okay.
But sometimes it doesn't have to. Balayage is quite often used for the ends of the hair to give it an extra kind of sun-kissed feel. A little less, a bit more natural looking. Sometimes highlights can look a little bit stripy.
Yes.
And balayage is a way of not having any demarcation, no stripes, no starting point, no finish. It can look very, very natural.
And is it always bleach, or can you balayage with tint?
You can balayage with brown colour if you want. You can balayage with tint. You can balayage with bleach. Most of the time, balayage is done with bleach because the technique that you're doing is creating these very natural, like surf-kissed or sun-kissed ends of your hair.
Nice. I'm getting questions here on Instagram saying, can you do balayage at home? Can you do your own balayage?
Very, very, very hard. Hard enough to do balayage in the salon, never mind trying to do it. You can't do the back. Yeah. It's hard to see which bits you're picking up. I mean, I really believe highlighting balayage, any going blonde treatments really probably need to be done in salon. I mean, that's generalizing, but.
Yeah. Unless you're using something like this, where it's all over, like an all over color.
Yes.
And then you're not getting any variation. I mean,
it's pretty simple to be able to. Yeah, it's pretty simple to do your roots.
Yeah,
easy to do your roots, really. Blend in grey, but techniques I think are quite hard to achieve at home.
Yeah, if I was worried about my roots and I wanted, for my highlights, and obviously I'm not going to do a whole head of highlights myself. Could I use a semi or a permanent like this just on my roots, or would I end up with just a stripe along my parting?
You wouldn't have a stripe, but you wouldn't like the effect because you're used to seeing highlights, lowlights, a little bit of grey. You've got a lot of multi-tonal colours in your hair. If you were to do a colour all over, you'd feel it was too blanket, too heavy. Yeah. But there are so many like root touch-ups, root concealers that you could use just to, you know, blend in the root a little bit if you couldn't get to the salon.
Absolutely. And I've got questions here about root touch-ups. This one's come here from Di Clark saying, is it safe to colour roots yourself when you have highlights in the rest of your hair? Well, that is exactly like me. And I've got so many different things here. I'd had no idea that you made all these different root touch-ups. So I've got here, this is a root marker for darker blonde, and it says colour away stray greys, and it looks like a pencil. So do you literally, do you just put that on? And it's also comes with a little brush. Comes with a little like a mascara brush.
So you can just blend that in a little bit. Yeah. Oh, that's really for hairlines. Any of those awful greys that kind of spike up.
Oh, yeah, spiky greys. Don't want those.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what you're doing. That's what that marker's for. On the go, can be in your handbag. Yeah. And it just gives you the ability to be able to just blend in. It only lasts one shampoo as well. So, yeah.
So you wash that out. So that's just one shampoo and it's gone. Okay. So
one shampoo.
Next one.
Yeah.
This is called a blending brush for darker blonde. And this is really nutty. It's got a little kind of brush on the end here and a push button here. And if I push the button, a little bit of stuff comes out. It's not going to look great on my hand, is it? Obviously, but there you go. You kind of get the idea. You can see it there. And so, how would I use this then? Am I going to use that kind of all the way through my hair?
Yeah, that's a wet to dry application. So your hair needs to be damp or wet, and then you dry it in. And so the drying in means that the colour pigments adhere to the grey hair.
Ooh, clever.
And that again only lasts one shampoo, but you're not going to get any of that. A lot of people say they use like dry shampoos or powders, and it can get a bit on the. It can be a bit on the old shoulders. Yeah, it can fall off. Yeah, that's why I prefer a wet to dry, and that will really blend in. However heavy your regrowth is. So if you've got a real tram line, a real heavy regrowth, that wet to dry will really blend in.
Nice. So this is blending brush, and this is darker blonde, but presumably you've got lots of shades of this, have you, that people can match?
Yeah, lots for blondes, lots for brunettes, all the way up to dark blonde. The problem with that is there isn't one for very, very light blonde because it's almost clear. So you don't see any result. So if you have got quite dark hair, lots of highlights, there is a tinted dry shampoo that will help to blend out the grey.
That is for me. I think I've got it. Here we go. I love dry shampoo, and I find it just such a great way to refresh. You know, just on the ends, saves washing your hair all the time. Actually, I can't get over, Josh. I'm not just saying this because you're here, but my hair is so soft. I know I shouldn't be surprised. And you're probably sitting there going, yeah, I know this. That's why I made them like this, because they're so great. But, you know, they are genuinely, I'm kind of used to sitting here and poofing up my hair. And it does feel really soft. And I can see that it's quite shiny.
Did you blow dry it?
You know, I had about 2 minutes.
Did you do a little blow dry?
I did a tiny blow dry just around the front, and then the rest of it is just left. So, yeah, really.
That's good.
Thank you. I'll take that. So this is tinted dry shampoo for light blonde hair. That's really clever. A dry shampoo that's tinted. Oh, it's still got its sellotape around it, so I have to take that off. And how many shades do you know that this comes in? Does it come in lots of different versions?
Yeah, we've got 4 shades.
There you go. Nice.
But there's only one for very, very light blondes.
Okay. I'm going to give that a good shake. And then let me do it on here to start with. Mm, smells nice. So you just spray that into the roots, would you?
Yeah, and then you just kind of rub it in a little.
Nice, nice. I can't actually see what
Also
I'm doing.
gives your hair a little more body.
Yes, I can feel that. I can feel it's giving it more body, a bit more volume. And definitely, I mean, I've obviously just washed my hair, so I don't need a dry shampoo right now, but definitely that's going in the bag. Okay, like that one. And then last...
There'll be no room for anything else, Liz.
Well, who cares? My hair's going to look fabulous, darling. Now, this looks really interesting. I don't think we've talked about this yet. This is a root smudger. Tell me about this. Oh, look at that.
That is exactly the same. Just twist it, Liz.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
And then if you turn it to what? Yeah, twist to open.
Yeah.
And then squeeze.
Twist and squeeze. Oh, look, it's all
turn it upside down.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
That is exactly the same product. Exactly the same product that's in the brush.
Yes.
But in a much heavier application. So that's for somebody that's 80% grey or more and really needs to be able to blanket out the grey roots.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So again, you'd use this on wet hair, on damp hair, and then you dry it in.
Damp or wet hair and dry it in.
And it will wash out. So if you don't like it or you make a mistake with the colour, whatever. Amazing. Really good.
It's gone.
Really good.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Where are we? Okay, so this is from Clark617, who says, the sun has bleached my blonde highlights, so presumably lifted them. Can I home dye my hair a nice warm brown? Presumably not if she's already got bleach in her hair.
No, you would end up in trouble. So it's really, for me, that's about get an online consultation, figure out what you can do. But something like that, a color change from very light to dark with highlights or sunlightening, it's a bit like painting a white wall. You've got to do undercoats first, and then you do the desired color right at the end. So good advice, but probably that's a salon visit.
Yeah. Okay. I'm getting asked here whether you ship to the States.
We do ship to the States. We're going to have our site ready slightly later this year, but at the moment we do ship to the States, but it's shipped from the UK.
Okay, great. So you have to wait a little bit longer. But on the website, it says the dry shampoos are discontinued. Maybe they're just out of stock temporarily. I know they
are out of stock. We are bringing some of them back, and I've altered some of the tones in some of them as well.
Nice.
You know, that's the great thing about having an online community. I get to make products with our customers, which is a real treat.
Of course, because you're doing all those consultations all the time, so you're seeing exactly what people need, what the reaction is, how it works. Lots of questions about overseas. Another one from Australia. Presumably you ship internationally, do you? Wherever people are watching. Great.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Is it safe? This is from Di. Did I answer this one? Is it safe to colour your roots when you've highlights in the rest of your hair? Yes, I think we have coloured that, haven't we? Okay, this is quite technical from Elaine, so I hope that I'll get this right. She said, I used a Weller hair streaking kit. Obviously, other kits are available, but that was probably the one that I used to do some root parting highlights. That's exactly what I did, which turned out okay, apart from an orangey tinge, where Elaine, you probably didn't leave it on long enough. That was my mistake too. I've used Touch of Silver to tone them down, so all okay. My question is, when I return to the hairdressers, can they do bleach highlights over the top of my Weller colour, or will it require them to do something different? Presumably the Weller one would just be bleach. It would just be bleach on bleach, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to answer that without seeing the hair, but in theory, yes, like you say, Liz, it's bleach on bleach, so it's fine. You shouldn't be in any
Yeah.
Apart from upsetting the hairdresser, you should be totally fine.
Well, I think, we're all allowed. That's the thing, isn't it? I think whereas before we might not have wanted to do anything for fear of upsetting, the person that we've been seeing perhaps for most of our lives. Now it's quite acceptable to say, actually, not. Well, obviously, I couldn't get to you for months. And now I think people are,
Right.
a bit more reluctant. And I know you did amazing work, Josh, with the British Beauty Council, going in, working with the government to actually get salons open, because for ages they were like the forgotten people. And, it was like all the manicurists and everybody else, simply weren't able to work. And obviously with the right kit and the visors and you've got distancing at stations, haven't you? You've had to take out half your seating, so people are much more spread out.
Yeah.
What else did you have to do?
Yeah. It was really interesting working with the Home Secretary to write the guidelines for the safety measures that needed to be in place for all close contact services. And yeah, half of the chairs are gone. We wear visors. There are some screens in between certain parts of the salon. Number of people that we can have in the business, the kind of cleaning and disinfecting we have to do in between appointments. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm just grateful we're open. Sure. It was too long, and I missed my clients, I missed my co-workers. So yeah, I don't care what I have to wear. I'm going to work.
And I have seen on your Instagram, you're kind of, you look like some sort of welder. But we're all managing it, and thanks to you, we're able to to get our home stuff as well. Last question, I think, here, and then I just talk a little bit about the offer, because I don't want you to miss out on that. Please, can you ask Josh how to go quite a bit lighter without the dryness? The more bleach, the lighter, but in my experience, hair very dry. I have very fine hair, because bleach will dry the hair, won't it?
Well, first of all, it depends how dark you are. Because if you're very, very dark and you want to go extremely light, that's obviously a lot more processing, much stronger products. Products have to be left on longer, sometimes have to be put on twice. But actually, in today's world, bleach is not drying.
Okay.
Bleach is a product that's, the chemical compound is called a persulfate, which is different from a permanent hair color. And a lot of people like bleach because it gives you a little bit of swelling in the hair as well. It gives you a little bit of plumping.
So if your hair is thinning, then actually bleach could be a good thing.
Bleach can be a really good thing if you tend to find that your hair can be very lank and thin. But bleach, again, bleach for me is something that needs to be done in a salon.
Okay.
I think it's too difficult to get the right tone, the right technique, measure how long it needs to be on for the density and thickness of the hair. Yeah. These are all things that we assess all the time when somebody sits down. And, it must seem like, you come in, hi, how are you? And there's a bit of look. But all of that is an assessment of what should be done and how long it should be left on. And from your experience, you did everything right, really. But and it helped. It meant you didn't have dark roots, but there was an orange tinge that maybe you didn't like. You wouldn't want that long term. But yeah, for me, going lighter and bleaching is something that needs to be done by an expert.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think we do all have access to your experts now online, so you can book a 20-minute slot. Is that right?
Absolutely. On joshuacolour.com, we have the ability to do an online consultation. You can upload a photograph and we'll show that photograph to a trained colorist. Or you can do this, that we're doing. You can have an online consultation whereby I can say, Liz, you need to do a bit of this here and use the gloss on the end.
Yeah. Honestly, Josh, I could talk to you for hours, and I know everybody has so enjoyed it because I can see all the comments coming in. I'm going to let you go because I know that you have a massively busy day, jam-packed with clients who are just clamoring for your services. Thank you for answering all the questions.
No, thank you.
Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Thank you very much for this amazing offer, which I am going to repeat now because I know several people have joined late and missed it, and I don't want you to miss out. And I hope all continues to go super well, and lots of love to you and your whole team who are brilliantly managing it all. So thank you.
Thanks, Liz.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So I'm going to remove Josh Wood Colour, but hopefully keep the rest of Instagram. Yes. Oh, wasn't that so great? So great. Could have talked for hours, and what an expert. What a nice man. So you can obviously find him, Josh Wood Colour. He's on Facebook and obviously on Instagram as well, and great website, joshwoodcolour.com. So the offer is this. Now, those of you who are familiar with all our lovely Liz Loves will know that normally we are able to get a little discount in return for, you know, doing a bit of a shout out. Well, this time we've got something even more special, but it's only for 5 days. So I hope you're watching me in real time, and I haven't left it a week because otherwise the offer would have finished. But on Josh's website, everything that we've talked about and more is there. So this was the shampoo that I was raving about. It's called Shade Refreshing Shampoo. This is one that I use today. It's for fine blonde hair. Definitely felt a difference. Lovely smell. It's got UV filters, the quinoa extract, which was the protein that Josh was talking about for helping to plump up fine hair, and the green walnut, which I'm not quite sure what that's in there for, but I'm sure it's in there for some wonderful reason. I should have to look it up and see. And so this is £10. Now, anything that you buy, anything that goes into your basket, so it could just be £10. That's, I think, one of the cheapest things. They will put in the large size, the big everything mask. And this is also what I use. So this is worth £19. So you see, you know, you're getting then, what is that? £29 worth of value. You know, nearly £30 for 10. Now, there are a couple of caveats. You can only do it once, okay? So it's a one offer. So everything you think you might want, put into your basket. Don't think, oh, I'll just try the shampoo and then go back in a few days' time and get another one, or maybe get the colour, because you will have used your code, okay? So it's one per person, and it's a one-time code because it's obviously very special. So what you need to do is you go into your Josh Wood Colour website, you get whatever you want to get. You then add this to your basket, the everything mask, which you'll see on there is £19. Then when you come to check out, it'll say, do you have a code? And you'll go, yes, I've got Liz Loves, all in capitals. You put your code in, and then the price of this is deducted. So it comes off. Okay, so that's how it works. So my clever digital team and Josh's clever digital team have worked really hard to make that system work exclusively for us. Okay, but it is only for 5 days. I might do a little review of it on Friday just to remind anybody that hasn't seen it today. But I can say, hand on heart, I think the products are great. I think that Josh's expertise is really good. I do genuinely love it. As those of you know, I don't say Liz Loves about anything. I have to genuinely love it. Quite fancy the root smudger. I think I'm going to pop that into my bag as well. Who cares? There's no room for makeup. It's all hair stuff, but there we go. That's my Donna May bag. And that is about it for today. So thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you, Instagram, for bearing with me. And thank you, Facebook. Well, we had a few issues at the beginning. Don't forget that there is still the great offer for the magazine subscription where you get the £10 voucher. Actually, I should just say how that works, because that's got a little wrinkle to it as well. If you subscribe to the magazine, you get a free issue and you get free P&P. And at the moment, while stocks last, you get a free £10 Neil's Yard voucher. These are for your new subscriptions. Now, the voucher does not come with the magazine, okay? So this has been a few questions, people saying, oh, I got my magazine, but I didn't get my voucher. Okay, so the voucher is emailed to you separately by Warner's, and because the payment is taken by direct debit, the Warner's system is set up so that when the first payment goes through from your bank, that then triggers the email from Warner's to say, oh, right, okay, you've got your direct debit. There you go. Here's your voucher on an email. And it will come from Warner's. So watch out for that in your inbox. So I hope that explains it. And apologies if that wasn't made clear at the time. That's it for today. I will be back with you on Friday. I'm going to be here in my studios again because I'm launching something really special that I have been working on personally for the last couple of months since we've been in lockdown. And I'll give you a clue. Okay, see if you can guess what it is. It is to do with 5K. Okay, 5K or 5Ks. Now, am I talking running or am I talking something else? Let's see. Anyway, I really hope that you'll join me on Friday because it's going to be another super good one. Do keep your comments and questions coming. I'll take a look at Facebook, try and get back to as many as I can. Instagram, obviously comments welcome as well. I don't do direct message, but I do reply to many of my comments. So I hope you all have a lovely day. I hope that was helpful and fun and you enjoyed it. And look forward to seeing you here on Friday. Lots of love. Bye-bye.